The restaurant's kitchen is empty with only Sous Chef Victor standing at the stove. His hands move deftly, slicing the meat with a strange, almost ritualistic precision. The chef has long since gone home, leaving Victor to finish preparing for tomorrow's feast. But something in the air has changed. The smell of raw flesh has mixed with a metallic flavor that shouldn't be there. Victor looks up. In the reflection on the knife blade, he sees a shadow moving behind him. He turns around sharply. No one is there. Only the creak of the old floor and a whisper that seems to come from the ventilation. "You're next." Victor grips the knife tighter, his heart pounding. He knows that this restaurant has a dark history. The previous sous chef went missing a year ago, leaving only a bloody apron behind. Suddenly the lights go out. In the darkness, a sound is heard, slow, moist breathing. Victor strikes a match, and in its flickering light he sees an inscription on the wall made in red liquid, "Cook or die." He glances at the meat in front of him. It moves as if it were alive. A knocking noise comes from the refrigerator, as if someone is trying to get out. Victor realizes that it's not just meat, it's something more. Something the restaurant has been hiding for years. He hears footsteps outside the door. Someone or something is approaching. Victor grabs the knife and whispers to himself, "I will not give up without a fight." But deep down, he knows that the kitchen no longer belongs to him. She's awake and she's hungry. Victor stands by the stove, holding the knife like a weapon. The knocking from the refrigerator grows louder, the door shaking as if something inside is hitting it. He comes closer, his breath visible in the cold air. Suddenly, the refrigerator door swings open and a frozen carcass falls out, but it's not pork or beef. It is a human hand dripping with black liquid. Victor jumps back, his scream drowned out by the sudden crash of pots falling off the shelves by themselves. He turns around and sees an old notebook on the table where he was cutting the meat. Its pages are yellowed and there is an inscription on the cover, "Le Gourmet Recipes." Victor opens it with trembling hands. Inside are not recipes, but instructions: sacrifice 1, blood for the base. Sacrifice 2, flesh for flavor. He throws the notebook, but it opens on the floor and the pages begin to turn by themselves. With each page, the air becomes heavier and the whisper from the ventilation system becomes clearer. "You will cook for us." Victor feels his hands involuntarily reach for the knife as if someone is controlling him. He resists, but the force is stronger. Suddenly, the stove bursts into flames and the fire rises to the ceiling. In the flames, Victor sees faces, distorted, screaming, familiar. These are the previous chefs of Le Gourmet who have disappeared. Their eyes are pleading, but their voices are commanding, "Cook." Victor falls to his knees, his mind torn between fear and a strange desire to obey. Victor is lying on the floor. The notebook in front of him is open to a page with an inscription, "The third victim, a soul to complete." He feels like his body no longer belongs to him. His hands reach for the meat moving on the table. He tries to scream, but only a wheeze escapes his throat. Suddenly, the kitchen door opens. Marta, a young waitress who had stayed late after her shift, enters. "Victor, what's going on?" she asks, but her voice trembles when she sees his eyes, black as pitch. Victor turns to her, the knife in his hand gleaming in the firelight. "You're just in time," he says in a voice that is not his. Marta rushes to the exit, but the door slams shut on her. Pots and pans fly into the air, blocking her path. Victor approaches, his movements mechanical like a puppet. "The kitchen needs ingredients," he whispers, and Marta screams as the knife comes down. Blood splatters on the walls, and the kitchen comes to life even more. The stove is humming, the refrigerator is shaking, and laughter is coming from the ventilation system, low, inhuman. Marta's body falls, but her eyes remain open, as if she can still see. Victor is standing over her, his hands shaking, but his mind is no longer resisting. He knows this is only the beginning. Victor stands over Marta's body, his hands covered in blood. The notebook on the floor glows with a faint red glow. He picks it up and reads, "The fourth victim, the heart for strength." The kitchen buzzes like a living thing waiting for the next step. Victor no longer fights, he submits. He picks up a knife and starts cutting. Every move is precise, like an experienced sous chef, but the goal is not a dish, but a ritual. Martha's blood flows into a bowl, her flesh is placed on the table, and her heart is placed in the center. A voice comes from the ventilation. More, more. Victor feels a force fill him, but it is not his own power, it is something dark and ancient. Suddenly, the walls of the kitchen crack and a black liquid oozes from the cracks. It flows to the table, enveloping the victim. Martha's body shudders, her eyes open, now glowing red. She rises, but it is no longer Marta. "Thank you, sous chef," she says in a voice that comes from the depths. Victor backs away, but the kitchen doesn't let go. The stove bursts into flames, the refrigerator opens, releasing shadows, the souls of the previous victims. They surround Victor, whispering, "You are our chef." He realizes that the ritual is almost complete and he is the last ingredient. Victor stands in the center of the kitchen, surrounded by shadows. The notebook is on fire, but not burning. On the last page is an inscription, "The fifth victim, a sous chef for eternity." The shadows are approaching, their hands reaching for him. He no longer resists, he accepts his fate. "I'm ready," Victor whispers, and the knife falls from his hands. Shadows penetrate him, his eyes turn red, like Martha's. The kitchen trembles, the walls dissolve, revealing an endless abyss. Victor feels his soul tearing away from his body, but his body keeps moving. He picks up a knife and starts cooking. But this is not a dish for guests. It is an eternal feast for the kitchen. Blood, flesh, souls, everything mixes in a cauldron that appears out of nowhere. The shadows are laughing, and Marta is standing next to them, serving the ingredients. Le Gourmet is no longer a restaurant. It is an altar. From the outside, the restaurant disappears, leaving only an empty lot. But at night, people hear whispers and see shadows in the windows that no longer exist. They say the sous chef is still there, preparing his last recipe for those who dare to enter.